Yes.
Okay, so I formally welcome you both back to class. We were discussing benefit management just last time, and in the last session, because this lesson was short, session was short, it was hardly an hour or so. Therefore, we could not cover much. But where we left off was we were defining the steps or the life cycle of the benefit management. One, we have the program life cycle, which had three phases: uh, program definition, program delivery, and program closure. And within those three phases, we have benefit management defined in further five phases. Now, there is an overlap amongst the program phase life cycle and the benefit management life cycle, but the steps are: first of all, we have to identify all the benefits. This is the systemic approach. First, we identify the benefits, then we do in-depth analysis and planning of the benefits, which ultimately results in the benefit management plan. And then we actually go into the delivery of benefit component by component. The projects, sub-programs, or other work within the program is to be delivered one after the other. And this is called benefit delivery, which deals with the component level. Then all these benefits, if they are not to be incrementally delivered, then they will have to be consolidated and coordinated. So in benefit transition, we consolidate and coordinate these benefits and ultimately transfer the ongoing responsibility to the customer or the organization. And the last step, which is very closely associated with benefit transition, is the benefit sustainment, in which we ensure that whatever we are transferring, we are handing over, will be able to sustain. So, in benefit identification, as I said, we identify and qualify the benefits. Once we are identifying the benefits, naturally, they have to be clearly described. Each benefit is to be clearly described, and it should be in such a description clarity that we should be able to qualify whether this benefit is of any use to the organization or to the program or not. When we are analyzing these benefits, here we dig down deeper into the analysis of each one of these benefits. We define and prioritize these benefits, just like in portfolio we prioritize the projects and programs. Here we prioritize these benefits because we want maximum benefit to be delivered as soon as possible during the program's life. So prioritization will let us bring about the most beneficial outcomes in the beginning. Then derive benefit metrics. How will you be able to measure these benefits? Although once we qualified the benefits in identification, we did indicate how this benefit can be generally assumed. Now we are trying to define how it will be exactly measured. So we derive the benefit matrix out of the benefits, and then we establish our benefit management plan. And benefit management plan will not only contain all the guidelines and policies about how the benefits will be delivered, but also the in detail plan for realization of those benefits. Then ultimately map those benefits into the program management plan, because this benefit management plan is ultimately the part of the program management plan. So this has to be mapped into the program management plan, and that will ensure that that goes by the roadmap we had already developed.
So,
Then come,
Suhail, mapping of the benefits into program management plan,
yes,
that would be the last step in program definition.
in the analysis and planning.
Yeah, because I
No,
think
no, no, no,
if
not the last step in definition. Because you see, program definition uh, is not exactly finishing as the benefit analysis and planning is finishing. Benefit analysis and planning is continuing on into the program delivery. So this is not exactly matching to each other. Benefit
Mhm.
analysis and planning can continue into the program delivery phase. So that is exactly why it is shown with a gap.
So
Yes,
is
but
there
yes,
there is a direct relationship between the steps of program benefits management and program like the life cycle?
yes, yes. There is a relationship, but you see, as I was saying, the benefit analysis and planning will start during the program definition because we are preparing the program management plan there. The program planning means program management plan. So this
Yes.
benefit management plan is going to be part of the program management plan. But mapping these benefits into the program management plan will continue during the program delivery as various initiatives will start. So this mapping will continue. And then
So
once,
our program management plan, the
yes,
overall program management plan,
mm,
isn't it ready by the end of program definition or program planning subphase?
actually, I do agree with that, that benefit management plan is part of the program management plan. And program management plan is prepared in the program definition at the end of program definition. But as you understand from your PMP experience, that these are uh, evolving documents. These are continuously
Yes,
being updated.
the updates keep coming, but
Yes,
the first step of running with something, that
exactly,
this is the first version that we run
exactly.
with,
You see,
that is ready by the end of program planning.
even before the program management plan was existing, we already had a roadmap. So our
Yes,
initial guideline was the roadmap. Now we have
yes.
converted it to a program plan and we have generally put all the benefits into it. We have mapped them into it. But this mapping, it does not finish with definition. This will continue into the program delivery phase while we will, completing the benefit analysis and planning and ultimately moving on with the benefit delivery. And similarly, if you look ahead of that, benefit delivery will, benefit transition will start in the benefit delivery stage, but will continue into the program employer while the sustainment is the last possible step.
Yeah.
So, yes, benefit management plan will form part of the program management plan, and we will be mapping it and confirming the roadmap we created in initiation. Now, in benefit delivery, we are now concerned with the benefit delivery by each component. So we will monitor each component. Now that is where I say that we have a different role than managing the projects because project managers are there to manage the respective components, but we are looking at each project or component from the point of view of monitoring that component for benefit delivery. What was the benefit which was expected to be delivered from project X, and does it is it fulfilling those requirements or not? That is the only point of view the program management must be looking at it. As I said earlier, program manager must not interfere with the working of the project manager. So he will only concern himself with the benefit delivery from each component. And if at all the project manager feels that he needs more guidance, he can always ask for it. So, uh, program manager will remain available as a guide to help project manager resolve his issues. Because naturally, program manager is in the escalation path for all issues which rise in a project or a component. So, the main job here in benefit delivery is to monitor those components, then maintain the benefit register. The benefit register we had created when we identified the benefits, right, in the first step. benefit identification. We have jotted down all the benefits in the benefit register, and now we are maintaining that. Which benefits have been delivered, what is the status of each benefit, and updating that status. And if there is any change in the basic definition of any benefit, that will also be updated during the benefit delivery. And these are being reported because benefits as they are delivered, they are being reported. Now, all the benefits, maybe the components have closed down. Some of the components or all of the components. As they close down, they will keep reporting their benefits, and we will start the transition process. If it is incremental transition, then probably we are delivering the benefits while we are in the benefit delivery stage. Maybe component 1 is complete and I am delivering the benefit of component 1 down to the customer. But at the same time, if it is a consolidated benefit kind of a thing, then we are consolidating and coordinating all benefits, putting them all together and turning them into the program benefits, and ultimately will be transferring those to the customer or the organization. So transition means that we are handing it over to the other part. So this is the transfer of the ongoing responsibility. And once we have handed it over, then it is no more our responsibility. The last thing we need to ensure is that whatever we are handing over, is it going to be sustainable? Are they going to be able to manage it and keep reaping the fruit out of the tree? So this is called benefit sustainment. So in our benefit management plan, we would have included a benefit sustainment plan as well. So we'll monitor the performance of benefits for some time and ensure continued realization of benefits. That is, the sustainable mechanism will be created and given and handed over alongside the benefits. So this is a brief description of how the benefit management plan, program benefit management will happen. So this, by this we learn that we have got these five steps or five phases of benefit management. Remember, these are the phases of benefit management. The phases of the program life cycle was different, and it is very much shown in this diagram on top. There are three basic phases of the program life cycle: program definition, program delivery, and program closure. Whereas program definition can further be divided into program foundation and formulation and program planning. And under the same three phases of the program life cycle, we have further five benefit management life cycle phases. So let's talk about the benefit identification now. Now, a lot many things we have already studied and we have already understood. So that you will find that there will be some kind of repetition, but this repetition is important because the things which are important, they are being revised and repeated, and therefore they will keep burning into your mind, and ultimately you will not easily forget them. So we understand the benefit or the purpose of the benefit identification is to analyze the available information about organizational and business strategies. So once we are creating the benefits, when we want to figure out or put it into words what exactly are going to be the benefits, so we will have to look at the organizational and business strategies. This will include the internal and external influences also, program drivers, to identify and qualify the benefits that program stakeholders expect to realize. You see, stakeholder is extremely important to us. Even if we are a program manager or a project manager or a portfolio manager, or even an organization at the organizational level, we do have stakeholders at all levels. And whatever we are doing is basically to come up with the expectations of the stakeholders. So without having understood the stakeholder, we cannot, claim to have achieved anything. Therefore,
You,
yes,
other than the business, throughout this strategic vision and all this road mapping activity, Do any of our artifacts end up being a strategic plan separately as well, or a business strategy plan, or that is already coming from the portfolio?
Not exactly portfolio, but from the top level management, because
Yes.
even portfolio is getting those things from the organization. So that is part of the organizational strategy, vision, mission, goals, objectives, strategic goals, strategic objectives.
So
This is all
if
done.
we
Yes.
come from the perspective of PGMP exam questions, is there any emphasis on a document called a strategic plan? Or no, it's
No,
more
no.
on the program charter, on a valid
Yes,
business case, and then a roadmap.
exactly. We are just assuming that these things do exist. Strategic
Oh,
plan,
yeah.
these things exist, and the
No,
linkage between our program and the strategic benefit or the strategic objectives is the business case. Business case proves how my program can be linked to the organizational strategy. So that is the linkage. So as far as the development of the strategic plan is concerned, that does not come. The strategic plan at the organization level is concerned. Program manager is not concerned with that. But
okay.
program
So,
strategy is to be developed by
just
the
like you
program manager.
said, okay, so just like you said that our linkage from program world to the portfolio or the governance or the organization strategy is the
Exactly.
business case links us there. What does the program charter do? Like, what is the most pertinent function of charter and what is the most pertinent function of business case? Because there are so many questions out there when you
Okay.
look at them.
Hmm.
And what is the, if you say, what are the top two reasons to have a business case and what are the top two for program charter? Is it
Okay.
just the financial justification when it comes to the business case?
Okay. First, talking about the business case. Business case is basically providing you the justification for doing this project, right? This is not an authorization to start the project. We are doing a kind of a feasibility. We are trying to satisfy our, taste buds that well, the thing I'm going to taste, is it really worth it? You order your dish when you really understand and you have done a kind of a feasibility that yes, this is the dish I want to order.
Okay, so
But
business case is a feasibility and linkage to strategy.
exactly. Business case provides you that linkage, and now you are ordering the dish. Charter is ordering the dish. This is authorization that now you are the person. You bring me this dish, and I will then eat it. So
So other than the authorization, what else the program charter add to the business case?
program charter does not add anything to the business case except for some progressive elaboration, because once we are creating the charter, we may realize that there was something to be added to the business case, or it should have been included there. So we can turn back and get that thing justified and then come back to program charter. That is one of the options. But otherwise, program charter comes out of the justified business case. If there is a justified business case, then program charter has a reason to come into being.
So the natural flow will be you have a business case
Yes,
and then you have program charter and then
exactly,
a high level roadmap.
exactly. That is exactly what we studied in the initiation part of it.
Okay.
So now,
And then you have feasibility that is more on the financial side, the pros and cons and how they align with the strategy.
mostly with from the financial point of view, but it is not only the financial feasibility. This feasibility includes whatever kind of feasibility you are trying. Feasibility includes three main areas: strategic feasibility, technical feasibility, and financial feasibility. And
Yeah.
in the same order of priority. Strategy is at the top, strategic feasibility is at top, technical then second, and lowest level is the financial feasibility. But the mandatory, out of these three, the only thing which is mandatory is the financial feasibility. Strategic and technical limitations may or may not be there. So they may or may not affect. But financial will always affect. But strategic assessment our strategic justification can supersede any technical assessment or financial assessment. You may go for a decision where strategically you think that it should be done, and maybe technically it is not feasible or financially it is not feasible, but strategy takes precedence. Similarly, technology takes precedence over the financials. But if there is no restriction of strategy or technology, then ultimate decision is held by the financial decision.
And out of our programs, which one has the top priority? Is it compliance?
Compliance with what?
Whatever your national, federal laws are,
Governance.
what kind of programs have the most priority?
Governance is naturally to align with the strategy of the organization. We have to look at the governance structure. Governance structure lets us deliver the strategy. We have to remain within the boundary of the governance provided to us. So, organizational governance, portfolio governance, program governance, project governance. These are the hierarchy under which we are governed.
Hmm. See, we have types of programs, right?
Yes,
We have compliance, we have emerging technology,
right.
and we have new opportunity. If we say what are the key types of programs, do we have three or four?
Well, you can have any names given to them, but classically speaking, we have those programs for which we have kind of a well-defined scope, and those programs which have not very well-defined scope. So you can classify them along uh, that line wherever they are placed, and you can name them any way you feel like. But programs are generally, as we say, they are longer than usual projects, and they are combination of a number of projects which are interrelated and intercoordinated, serving the same strategic benefit or objective. So I don't know how do you classify in your organization, and whatever classification you do must be perfectly fine. But there is no set classification as such that every organization should be following this classification.
Okay, so there is no types of programs as per SPM.
Yeah, we have to keep it loose because we are dealing with all kinds of industry. Probably cannot give you all types of the programs.
So there are no major classifications even.
Yes, we can just draw them along clarity of the scope are not very clear, incremental or consolidated, that kind of thing. On a line of line on with these two things at the extreme, we can somehow classify them and give them any names according to the need of our organization.
Because I saw two, three questions, and all of them were which one has precedence or which one has priority. And I couldn't remember that we had said anything about a compliance program having any precedence or
Okay,
which one program manager should pick. And I
compliance
thought,
compliance straight away means that you are complying with some governance structure. So governance structure
yes,
is important to me. Anyways, important to me. Governance structure is definitely important to me because I can't do anything outside of the governance structure, right?
okay,
Okay. So as we have already studied in the previous section, that was about the strategic alignment. Organizational initiatives are identified and documented during an organization's strategic planning exercise. So, what are the organizational initiatives? Organizational initiatives are operations, they could be programs, they could be projects, and portfolio has a responsibility of tying them together and prioritizing them and selecting them and all that. So that defines the strategic alignment. But having said that, portfolio is looking at these initiatives from the financial or investment point of view, but each and every one of these organizational initiatives have direct linkage with the organizational strategy also. Every project or program or operation must fulfill some organizational strategy directly. So that is the linkage with the organizational strategy. But portfolio serves only to prioritize and select them. So therefore, it looks at it from the investment point of view. So that is the difference. I am not really very fond of calling programs and projects uh, directly under command of the portfolio, because that is not a very true picture. Portfolio is not the boss of program or project managers in all the cases. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it may not be. Basically, every program and every project has a sponsor. That sponsor is the boss. Portfolio is not the boss. But naturally, portfolio is a higher seat which actually has a decision power that this project or program may or may not continue further because of the investment portfolio. That is exactly why portfolio has its own alignment. Portfolio has its own alignment with the organizational strategy, and that might be different from the alignment of a program or a project with the organizational strategy. Everything, portfolio, program, or project, are actually aligned with the organizational strategy in their own way. So this is not like, project is answerable to program and program is answerable to portfolio. You have standalone projects which are not part of any program. They are directly reporting to the organizational strategy. Similarly, programs are directly reporting to the organizational strategy, but portfolio is looking at the investment portfolio of these projects and programs, ensuring that they have got enough funding to be provided and resources to be provided. That's why portfolio is to put on top. Portfolio has not been created as a sponsor to all the projects and programs. So sometimes it may be, I'm not saying it is not possible. Sometimes portfolio may behave like a sponsor in some organizations, but this is not the classic way of looking at it. Portfolio's alignment is different than the program and project alignment with the organizational strategy. Anyways, these initiatives describe the goals and activities for the organization. So, which initiatives? The change related initiatives, projects, and programs. A strategic decision making body, typically in the form of a program governance board, may issue a program charter. Now, this we must resolve here who is the author of the program charter. Again, I will take you back to the project management. And if you look at PMBOK very closely, you will find that although we say that project manager must be involved in creation of the project charter, but he is not the author and he is not even the issuing authority. Same is the case here. Program charter is not created by or authored by the program manager. Basically, the responsibility is with the sponsor, and sponsor is answerable to a higher body, which is the program governance board. Program governance board, if it exists, is responsible for issuing the program charter to the program manager, defining the strategic objectives that the program is intended to address and the benefits that are expected to be realized. So basically, program charter defines that. It provides the authorization. But having said that, I would say if there is some confusion about the program governance board or such body does not exist or does not formally exist, then ultimate responsibility falls on the shoulders of the program sponsor. So then program sponsor is a person who will author the program charter. Anyways, program sponsor is part of the program governance board. He is a part of the program governance board, and maybe the governance board allows him to put his signature on the charter, or they may say that we all will sign it, or if there is someone else who is heading the governance board, he may sign it. So the signing authority can be either the governance board head, head of the governance board, or all of the governance board, or the program sponsor, because program sponsor is part of this team. So program charter as we discussed earlier, is supported by a valid business case. So if there is no business case, there is no charter. This we must be sure about. But having said that, I do agree that as we move ahead in the life of any project or program, we learn more things. So when the business case was developed, we may not have known so many facts which will be revealed once we move ahead in the life of the program. Especially, for example, when somebody is trying to create a charter, he realizes that business case might be further enhanced if these specific aspects can be included into it, and then the case can go back to business case for improvement, and then program charter will be created afterwards. So, what are the activities involved in benefit identification? As we understand, we have already talked about the basic purpose is to identify the benefits and put them into a benefit register and write a little bit of detail about each identified benefit, like how do you qualify it, right? So there could be some attributes about each benefit you have to register, you have to put into the benefit register. So defining the objectives and critical success factors for the program, identifying and quantifying business benefits, developing meaningful metrics and key performance indicators. Why? Because metrics will help us measure the benefit. We have to understand that if we can't measure anything, then it is of no use at all. So this we do not want to do that. We don't have any way or any capability or any mechanism to know how much we have done. So metrics have to be defined for every benefit, no matter if they are Likert scale metrics, which could not otherwise be defined, but we create our own scale and we define those benefits according to that. Like, how happy you are. So that is a very strange question because you can't really express how happy you are in so many words. Because you will say, I am very happy, and I will say, I am also very happy, but we are not equally happy. So, how can I create a metric for that? Maybe I can ask you on a scale of 1 to 5, tell me how happy you are. 1 being the lowest and 5 being the highest. So, that is kind of a Likert scale we have created. So, we have to have some mechanism to measure every benefit. And another way of doing it is the key performance indicators. And key performance indicators are we look at certain capacities and capabilities and define according to them that if this certain situation occurs, that would indicate the achievement of this benefit. So this is key performance indicators. There could be more than one key performance indicators to indicate the achievement of a benefit. So these two things, metrics and KPIs, are to measure the actual delivery of benefit and the planned benefit. So this is basically to compare the planning with the actual. And naturally, any variance to that could only be found if it is properly measured. Then establishing processes for measuring the progress against the benefit plan. The exact process or procedure of taking that measurement, and ultimately creating the tracking and communication processes necessary to record program progress and report to the stakeholders. So basically, in identification, I'm not saying I have created the whole benefit management plan, but at least I have listed each one of the benefits in a benefit register, and in front of each benefit, I have provided certain attributes, and those attributes are maybe the objective of this benefit, the critical success factor of this benefit, what are the classification of the business benefit it adds to, what are the metrics, what are the KPIs. So that kind of a table is created, a worksheet is created, and this is called a benefit register. This is done at the stage of identification, and it is not necessary that all the information which could be shown in this register is available at the time of identification. We may just not jot down the benefits here, and later we learn about certain the other attributes which we keep adding in front of that benefit in that worksheet. So this can be a progressive action, but as much detail as possible at the time of benefit identification must be recorded in the benefit register. Now, as we have already discussed, this all is coming out of the business case and the program charter. So, a little word about business case, which we have already discussed with Suhail a while ago. Business case, as we understand, is a key input for organizational leadership to charter and authorize program. If there is no business case, there is no charter. So, this is part of the program governance performance domain. It serves as formal declaration of the value that this is justified, that this work, if this be done, that will give us this benefit or this value will be delivered. That a program is expected to deliver and a justification for the resources that will be expended to deliver it. So when we have this justification only, then we can authorize the program. Business case also establishes the authority, intent, philosophy of the business need and program sponsorship while providing direction for structure, guiding principles, and the organization of the program. How this program has to be generally done. General guideline. We are not saying that whole of the plan for the program is given in the business case, but as much could have been given, an approach could have been given in the business case, that is very much fine with us. We have no problem. But naturally, the most detailed plan would be the benefit management plan, which we are going to create now. Business case connects the organizational strategy, that is the major benefit, major linkage we had to establish it with the organizational strategy and objectives and the program objectives. They must be properly linked. If they are not linked, then the justification does not exist, and helps identify the level of investment and support required to achieve the program benefit. So this level of investment and support is basically the subject ultimately of the portfolio manager. He will be looking at the investment which is required for this program to be completed, and that investment and support, if that portfolio decides that it cannot provide due to rare resources, scarcity of resources, then probably it will be put in a lower priority. But anyways, business case does exist for every project or program which has been justified. Now, out of the many justified projects and programs, all may not be equal, and those who are more important to the organization will be prioritized higher by the portfolio manager. There is a benefit register which we said that we are creating here due to the identification of the benefits, and this all benefits and their attributes are being recorded inside. So benefit register collects and lists the planned benefits for the program and is used to measure and communicate the delivery of benefits throughout the duration of the program. So this is a mechanism. Whatever benefits I am delivering, I will be reporting it to the benefit register, and it will be updated. The status of the benefit will be updated, and by just seeing the benefit register, I would know what is the progress. Where do we stand in as far as the achievement of this benefit is concerned? In the benefit identification phase, the benefit register is developed naturally. This is the first time that benefit register comes into being, and it is based on the program business case naturally, and strategic plan, and the other relevant program objectives. So benefit register uh, is because of these documents. If those documents, business case, strategic plan, other relevant program objectives were not there, then this benefit register would not have been created. Benefit identification phase would not have been initiated. So therefore, it is all dependent on those documents. So please do not be confused by the word strategic plan, because as I have explained to you already, that organizational strategic plan creation is not the responsibility of the program manager. Yes, The program strategy is part of the program manager's job, and that strategic plan is included into the program management plan. We have already studied the strategic alignment chapter. So strategic alignment is giving us the strategic plan, program strategic plan, which is part of the program management plan. So program management plan is a bigger plan, which includes the program strategic plan. It includes the benefit management plan and so many other things. The register is then reviewed with key stakeholders to develop the appropriate performance measures for each of the benefits. So when I am deciding the attributes of the benefits, of each benefit recorded in the benefit register, then I must be in communication with my stakeholders, and this benefit register should have been created in consortium with the stakeholders, as if they have buy-in on that. They agree with what is there in the benefit register, so so that we can develop the appropriate performance measures. These things are not to be done in isolation. We have to take the stakeholder into confidence while these documents are being created. What all should be included in the benefit register? I don't say that all of these headings given here must be part of it, but this is the probably the most detailed benefit register you could have. You may or may not include all of these headings, but if they are included, they are going to be much more useful for you. We have already talked about a lot many things already, but let's see what is included in the benefit register. Naturally, list of the plan benefits it is. Mapping of the plan benefit to the program component. Which benefit comes from which program component? This benefit is going to be delivered by project A, and this by sub-program B, and this and that. So all those components which relate to this specific benefit must be, mapped to the program roadmap, which we have already given. So you could refer each benefit to the roadmap, program roadmap, and show its justification. Description of how each of the benefits will be measured. So measurement scale or measurement procedures, key performance indicators, and thresholds for evaluating their achievement. So what is the key performance indicator and how exactly it is to be, what is the range within which a value should be as if to satisfy the KPI. Risk assessment and probability is very interesting because in achievement of the benefits, there might be certain risks. So what are those risks and what is the probability of each one of those risks? So risks associated with each benefit must also be listed down if possible. I'm saying if possible because you may or may not have this much detail available at the time of risk benefit identification, but if you do, then jot it down. Status or progress indicator for each benefit. So this status is actually going to tell you where you are in the life of the program and what benefit has reached what stage. So this status will update you on the progress of that benefit. Target date and any milestones for the benefit achievement, they must be noted down. Person, group, and organization made responsible for delivering each of the benefits. Establishment of processes for measuring progress against the benefit plan. So we will create a benefit management plan, and benefit plan, the detailed plan, will include the details about how these progress is measured for each benefit. Tracking and communication processes necessary to record program progress and report to stakeholders. Once again, I'm saying, please do not think that this huge document is to be created. Benefit register may not include all of these details, but you can make columns for each one of these items or attributes and may not fill them all in the beginning when the benefit is being recognized or identified. Later on, when those information start becoming available, you may fill them in. But you must understand that some of the information it must be provided. Like, if you do not qualify your benefit, like you do not define how to measure it or what are the KPIs, then probably you cannot move ahead. Risk assessment probably is good to have. So if not all, but at least uh, the major risks related to that benefit must be identified at that stage. So this concludes my first part, that is the benefit identification. Any questions so far?
None for me.
Yes, Faryal? Okay, so let's move on to the analysis and planning. Now we have the benefit register. We have done a very thorough job in creating the benefit register. You see, we have put in a very good foundation. Now we have to analyze each one of these benefits and create a comprehensive plan for achievement of these benefits. I hope you understand the difference between a management plan and a plan. Probably I may have asked you this question earlier also, but there is a difference between a management plan and a plan. A management plan is how to do the things.
Overall plan, and then
Yes, please.
I think management plan is how you, I think, roll out the actual plan, the step by step of it.
Okay. What do you think, Julian? Is she right?
Sorry, can you repeat it?
I said, what is the difference between a management plan and a plan? She says that the management plan is step-by-step plan in detail. Is she right or wrong?
Oh man, you keep cutting off when you say management plan and the other
Other
realization plan. What was the other?
is just the plan. Management plan and the plan. Management plan and plan.
What's the difference between management plan and plan?
Yep. Apparently, it is very simple. A management plan is how to manage something, right? If I say that you have to drive a car,
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
step-by-step instruction is the detail, and that is not the part of management plan. Faryal, step-by-step
Yeah.
instruction is the detail. Detail is part of the plan, but management plan is how to plan. Yeah, you can say management plan is the plan about the plan. These are the guidelines and instructions you must take into account while creating a detailed plan. So management plan is the governance structure or is the instructions or guidelines for creating that plan. So for example, I am creating a benefit management plan. I will say, okay, what all I should keep in mind while I am creating the benefit management plan. How will I identify the benefits? What are the things I should keep in mind while I am identifying the risks? How I should be analyzing the risks? So how about it? This is these are the ingredients of the management plan. But a plan is the detail, the step-by-step calculation and everything. That is the plan, or we call them the detailed plan. Sometimes plan is in shape of uh, a proper plan, or it can be in shape of many different artifacts like a Gantt chart and another chart and a worksheet and something else. So all the detailed calculations and detailed plan may be distributed over a number of artifacts. But all those artifacts which were created just because we had a guiding structure available in shape of a management plan. So the benefit management plan is that guiding structure. And from where this guiding structure is getting its own guidance is from the governance plan. So the program governance is providing the input how the benefits should be realized, and benefit management plan is defining the plan about the plan. It does not include the benefit management plan does not actually include the benefits. It includes how to identify the benefits, how to deal with the benefits, how to transit the benefits, how to sustain the benefits, procedures only, and the details are in the artifacts. Then I hope I have made myself clear or not.
So you're saying that the management plan is higher, and then the actual nitty-gritties and the step
Exactly.
by step and the details are in the regular plan.
Exactly. So, if you do not have the other artifacts named separately, generally we will call it say benefit management plan includes all of that. So, but basically, benefit management plan is a plan about the plan, and all artifacts which have to be included in it, we could put them as annexes to the benefit management plan, and we call the whole thing as a benefit management plan, right?
Okay.
Actually, why I'm explaining it, this should have been clear to you from your project management knowledge, because in project management also, we have a schedule management plan, we have a cost management plan, but still we have the schedule baseline, project schedule, and so many other artifacts coming out of it, Gantt chart and sequencing and all that. So all those artifacts are actually created because there exists a schedule management plan. The guidance is existing there, and therefore I created all those artifacts, and all of those artifacts are put together, and we also may call them the schedule management plan, but those artifacts may be then treated as annexes. Anyways, that is another discussion. So coming back here, the purpose of benefit analysis and planning is to establish the program benefit realization plan. Now, why I have given you such a detailed description about the management plan is because the benefit realization plan is different from benefit management plan. In the third edition, they used to have a separate benefit realization plan. Now they don't really call it as a benefit realization plan. They consider realization plan as an artifact of the benefit management plan. So the main term here is the benefit management plan, and realization plan, other artifacts are part of that. So therefore, benefit realization plan is the detailed plan, the step-by-step plan, how and when and where each benefit is going to be realized, and who is going to be responsible for that. This is the benefit realization plan. And develop the benefits matrix, how to measure each, and framework for monitoring and controlling both the projects and the measurement of benefits within the program. So what all activities make up the benefit analysis and planning? They are establishing the benefit realization plan. This is the detailed plan. As you were saying, Faryal, step-by-step plan, the detailed plan. Well, benefit management plan was not the detailed plan, but that was the parent plan. That was a major guideline under which the benefit realization plan and other artifacts are being created. So, establishing the benefit realization plan that will guide the work through the remainder of the program. Then defining and prioritizing the program components. We have got projects, we have got sub-programs, whatever components we have. So, these include component, project, program, sub-program, and other interdependencies, what is the priority of these? Now, this is the point where I say that a program in its own entity is like a portfolio also. Why? For all the constituent components, program behaves like a portfolio. It selects those components, it prioritizes them, and then give them resources.
So Suhail, is benefits realization plan valid in SPM4?
Yes, it is. लेकिन उसकी
It
not.
has become a part of the benefits management plan.
Yes, of course it is, but they do not explain it in so many words. They are not emphasizing on the word benefit realization plan anymore. So generally,
Okay.
they call it benefit management as part. It is treated as a part of benefit management plan.
Yes, it is a part of the benefits management plan, but what is it called? Is it still called benefits realization plan? What is the term used for it?
Um, yes, the term is the benefit realization plan, but they had started using it less and less. They are not much referring to the words benefit realization plan anymore.
Okay. So when
But
they have to refer to it, what do they call it?
they can name any artifact. What is benefit realization plan? Benefit realization plan is the metric, the KPIs, and all these things. They can refer to those, and that will define they may call it the detailed roadmap or the schedule. Schedule is also explaining, giving out the same thing. But I agree with you that benefit realization plan was a better term which was being used. And although I understand that there was a little confusion between the benefit management plan and benefit realization plan, people do not differentiate between these two, and therefore they probably have given more emphasis to benefit management plan, and they are not using the words benefit realization plan in so much frequency, not frequently. But you will find these words somewhere in PMBOK fourth edition, but not with the emphasis and gusto as they were being used in third edition. Right. So defining and prioritizing the program components, then we have the key performance indicators. We have to define those key performance indicators and associated quantitative measures. If there is a procedure to measure a KPI, that procedure, that method has to be explained. So quantitative measures required to effectively monitor the delivery of program benefits. Then establishing the performance baseline for the program and communicating program performance metrics to the key stakeholders. So this performance baseline is basically to uh, convey it to the key stakeholders through proper communication, the progress of the program. Then updating positive and negative risks, and what we are talking about the risks here is the risks to the benefits. For each benefit you must identify the various positive and negative risks as if they can be focused on.
So Suhail, this slide that we are going over,
Mhm.
is it from SPM3? Because the whole slide's emphasis is
Mhm.
program benefits realization plan.
Yes. This is from third edition, but uh, I have just given you the difference. You see, in your exam, please do not just rely on uh, the fourth edition, because there will be questions from third edition, even sometimes from second edition, right? So don't be confused there, because there is a little bit of problem with the program management exam. They have, when you ask them why are you giving us the questions from the previous editions, they say that that is all the knowledge base we have, so we can ask from anywhere. So you must understand where does these things fit. But I have clearly explained to you the difference between the benefit management plan and the benefit realization plan. So keeping that in mind, you can probably answer the questions correctly.
Okay. Because it means what you're calling it now, like the difference of there is no more a term called mandate, right?
Yeah, exactly. Mandate has been changed to charter, and
Okay. So
but benefit realization plan has not been changed to benefit management plan, but they have reduced the usage of the term, right? But benefit realization plan is the detailed plan, and benefit management plan is the outline guideline
So
for
the
creating the plan.
structure of so the relationship or the components of each one of them is still intact.
Yeah, 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 of course, they are intact. So this was the purpose of the benefit analysis and planning. As we were talking about the quantification, the whatever benefits we recognize, we identify, we have to quantify them as if we can measure them, and progress can be given according to that. Stakeholders would be updated according to that. We would know that we have delivered this much benefit, or if you have to deliver incremental benefits, then you would be able to release that much benefit to the customer at that specific point in time. It is especially important to quantify the incremental delivery of benefits so that the full realization of planned benefits may be measured during the performance of the program. So you will only be comfortable if you know what you are doing. You have a mechanism to measure it. So quantification means measuring. So meaningful measures help the program manager and the stakeholders determine whether or not benefits exceed their control thresholds and whether they are delivered in a timely manner or not. So the progress actually yields out of the measure, and if there is no measure, there is no progress.
That is fine. So actual realization is just when you achieve those benefits, right?
Exactly. So you have to convert it into some terms. What
Yes.
will constitute the achievement of this benefit? So that
Yes.
KPI
So
is
a certain value, a certain threshold that,
exactly.
okay, if it's 50%, if it's 55%, what
Exactly.
is acceptable, what is, because I think there is a huge difference between acceptance criteria and success criteria,
Uh,
and that's something else as well.
Actually, acceptance criteria and success criteria comes at the end, and these two terms are almost the same. Acceptance criteria and success criteria, they are almost the same. There are alternative words for them, but these are the conditions which have to be met to mark the completion, complete achievement of a benefit. There is another term for that. There is another term for that, which is called definition of done. Definition of
Okay.
done. That is also success criteria or the acceptance criteria.
You're saying acceptance criteria and success criteria are the same?
Yes, of course, they're same. Other, if you can, quote me something which says they are different, maybe there might be a reason for that. But as far as I can think, they are one and the same thing. The success will
For
only be
success
constituted.
criteria is something beyond acceptance. Acceptance is like minimum. This
Okay,
you
okay,
should
okay.
do, no matter what.
Ex-
Success is basically it's something good. You
okay,
have shades of success. Like this is the minimum, and after to even call it that yes, you have done
okay,
it. You've done it well is success criteria.
right. So what I would say is that if we are talking in terms of benefits, then we are talking in terms of success criteria. If we are talking in terms of outputs or deliverables, then we are talking in terms of acceptance criteria. Because the word acceptance criteria is mostly used for projects.
Yeah.
And the word success criteria, you usually find it for programs. You
Okay.
understand this point?
Okay. But does that make any difference, or you
Of
still
course.
think that acceptance and success are the same thing?
No, no, no. You have very nicely brought it to the table that success is something which is the ultimate achievement or ultimate success of that. So ultimate success is the benefit realization,
Yes.
right? So I can associate benefit realization with success and the product delivery with the acceptance criteria.
Okay.
Okay. Benefit analysis and planning should include uh, the timing of the delivery of benefits is important. Date when realization would start. Actually, this is guiding us towards a schedule, a program schedule. This will ultimately get us to the level where we'll be able to create exact dates when a certain program or a certain project or a component has to start and finish. Qualification of intangible benefits and quantification of resulting benefits. Qualification of intangible benefits means improved morale or perception of the organization, like anything which probably cannot be measured otherwise. How would you measure? As I said, how happy you are, how would you explain? So that is, I may have to create a scale for that. There might not be a happiness scale existing. It cannot be measured in feet, it cannot be measured in kilograms. So probably it has to have its own scale. So those things which can be quantified, so those could be measured in hours or money or whatever. So if we have got some quantification mechanism available for that, some metrics available for that, then this is a case of quantification. When we don't, it is a case of qualification. So intangible benefits will normally be qualified. But anyways, whatever it is a quantification or a qualification. For qualification, I have to somehow define a new scale, a Likert scale. Then is the program cost. Program cost, if you look at this diagram, you will see that somehow this is very similar to the project cost. Somehow I'm saying because this is more curvy than the one with for the project cost. Project cost was a smooth curve which rises smoothly and gradually and then steeply gets to its peak, remains there for some time on the peak, and then it starts coming down. It is also showing the same kind of trend, but because there are separate phases of the program life cycle, so the behavior in each phase is slightly different. So you see, in the program definition, it has its own life cycle, and the cost increases in the formulation, slowly in the formulation stage, and then later when we are defining the details, then our expenses are coming, they're lesser expenses in that period of time. Similarly, in program delivery, depending upon the components which we are delivering, one component reaches its peak, and say after one project there is the output of that project is to be used as input by another project, then it will take its own peak. So summarizing those peaks of during the project program delivery, they are creating some kind of curves, but the expenses are rising till they reach a higher point, and ultimately when we are closing the program, the same curvy kind of a closure happening at the end. And you can see that the benefit delivery has started during the program delivery. Benefit delivery has started during the program delivery. While some components have been completed, they have started yielding their benefits, and then benefit starts increasing. Now, what is happening is the benefit delivery is the money or the benefit coming to us, and the cost is the money or the expenditure we are making. Now, as soon as the benefit delivery starts coming, it could be subtracted from the cost, and the overall pending cost on this program can be estimated that this much benefit we have achieved. So by the end of the program, you can see that almost half of the cost we have spent on the program probably has been recovered. And the benefit continues. That is the benefit sustainment. If it has to be sustained, then it is not only going to, you know, reach the whole cost profile, but it will go, the benefit delivery will even escalate. It will go higher and higher. So in this example, program cost may continue after program closeout. So that is uh, program cost. You can see it has not yet been closed. It is not coming to the 0 point. So program cost may be expended later, and they could be handed over to the performing organization or the taking over organization as operational costs. Program has served its purpose. Benefits have started yielding. All the specifics which were defined for the program to complete or close has been achieved, and the program benefit has been handed over to the customer or the organization. That is the point where the ongoing expenses on that work would be treated as operational cost now, and therefore the cost will continue and the benefits will also continue. So this cost is operational cost is for the sustainment of the benefits, which include the program funding. Program cost may also end at program closure. So this could finish by the closeout of the program or may continue on. So both possibilities can be there. When the program continues, it may or may not provide additional funds to the organization accepting the benefits to cover the deferred cost of new benefits. In some cases, the organization may have to self-fund the cost. Maybe I have handed over this benefit to you, and your organization is now going to make the operational expenditure in the maintenance of those benefits. So this may have been your organization's own arrangement. Or maybe it was part of the program and the funding which was allocated for program is being provided to you after transition. In addition, quantifiable benefits have not yet exceeded program cost. So because the program has just closed and benefits have started yielding, so benefits are not more than the costs. So they are not yet exceeded the program cost. In this example, program benefits are expected to exceed program cost over the time as specified in the business case, because if benefits do not exceed the cost, then this is not a feasible case. The business case is not justified. But if there was a business case, it must have specified how much benefit is expected from this program, and that benefit will be achieved even after the program has ended. Then comes the risk definition and refinement. As the program benefits are further defined, risks to the program benefits should be further refined.
Just touching on that,
Yes.
you're saying that sometimes even after the benefits have been realized and transitioned to the operational side, your costs can still continue.
Yes, I'm saying that you see the graph has come down to a level of where we can transition these benefits to the performing organization or the organization taking over, and from there onwards, for the sustainment of the benefit, we will give them a sustainment plan, how to sustain these benefits, and what all will be their operational expenses, and they can continue from there onwards. This is one possibility according to the diagram which has been shown to you. But
Okay.
there
So,
could be another example where all the benefits, all the costs have been expended, all the cost has been expended, and the benefits will realize ultimately. So there are no more costs to be spent, just benefit to be reaped out of it. So that could be another case.
but these are both different from the one that I am asking.
Okay.
I'm asking, would the program costs continue? Because once you have realize them and you have transitioned them to the operational side or the performing organization, then they're out of your hands and they're in the hands of the operational side. And
Yes.
whatever they are spending to sustain them
Okay.
are there. They cannot be associated or pinned down to
Exactly.
program costs.
Exactly. You're right. You're right. Classically
Which
speaking, they should.
which costs are still continuing or which costs will you
Exactly.
still put on the program register?
You're very right. Classically speaking, they should not be termed as program benefits after they have been handed over,
Yes.
because the expenses which will be incurred on them afterwards would not be program cost. That would then be termed as operational cost. So
Yes.
if that is an operational cost, then these benefits are no more program benefits. They must be termed as normal benefits of the organization. But naturally, this is going to be a continuity as the program transitions from program to operation, then the transition should change the names. But we are looking at it from the point of view of the program, and therefore we are saying that the program cost has yet not been completed, and it will continue as operational cost, and the benefits will keep yielding, and the ultimate the business case, which is even beyond the life of the program, will be achieved later on.
Yeah, I agree with the benefits realization post program,
Okay.
but it's the cost that I'm asking you about. That once it has been transitioned to the operational side, how which costs are we still going to pin down to the program?
I think the answer to that is this: the program closeout as operations cost. This is the operational cost, and that is to sustain the benefit, including included in the program funding. So after it has been handed over, it will then be termed as operational cost. It will no more be program cost.
So you're saying program cost may continue after program closeout.
If the program is closed out, it will no more be called as a program cost. वो हिसाब किताब करके they will hand it over to the operational cost, to the operating organization, and they will continue spending whatever money is to spend for reaping those benefits.
Program cost will end at program closeout,
Yeah,
right?
yes, that will be audited.
The benefit realization will continue post program closeout.
Exactly, exactly. If I've given a system to an organization and that system needs some funding to run and will
Mhm.
reap them certain benefits, then naturally I have to train them on the sustainability, how to run these machines, how to run the system, and what are their going to be their operational expenses. So I will hand over the result of my program to them, and then they will treat it as a operation, right? So for them, for the people taking over the result of the program, it will be operation. So I'm
It depends on if you have a turnkey relationship or you have a relationship where you are actually supporting them through for the first year
exactly.
of operation because you have a training or some other sort of a learning curve.
Yes. And there could be even another scenario, and that could be at the end of my program, there is another program, a different program, right? So in that case, if I'm not handing it over to the operations and I'm handing I'm transitioning the output of my program to another program, that in that case, that cost will be converted into the other program's input cost.
Okay. Can you go over this? The last point, in addition, quantifiable benefits have not yet exceeded program costs in this example.
Okay, you see here, the benefits so far have reached this level, right?
Mhm.
And the cost has reached this level. This is the highest cost which has been spent so far. So the benefits, if the benefits are less than the cost spent, this is not feasible at all. You agree with this?
Yeah.
So, but we see that while the program is being closed and it is being handed over, the benefit, if the initiative is continued, the benefits will keep rising and ultimately they will cross the total cost. The benefits will be more than that. So that all will happen after the transition has happened. In this specific case, this all will happen. The benefit delivery will ultimately yield more than the program cost after a certain period of time. But we are closing down the program at this point, and therefore, this is on an expectation that these benefits will keep rising. And to make sure that that expectation is fulfilled, I am giving a program sustainment plan to whomsoever I am handing it over to.
But Suhail, the transition has happened somewhere between at the middle line between delivery and closeout.
Yes, transition and sustainment are kind of they're not really separate from each other. They are happening together. Sustainment means that I have handed you over a system, and now I am spending some time with you to teach you how to run the system. Sustainment is that period. So after sustainment, after you are apt at doing that job, I will then withdraw and you will continue doing your job. So I am smoothly handing it over to you, handing over and teaching you how to sustain. So sustainment
That is
policy.
fine.
Yes.
But I'm saying that you're saying that my benefits are way below the cost at the transition point. Because
This
if we
yes.
want to pick a transition point,
Right.
transition started somewhere between, if you take, there's this straight vertical line between uh, program delivery and program closure
Uh,
in the middle of it. That is just about where the transition is already starting to
exactly.
happen.
Exactly. This is a specific case. Normally, we wish we could have achieved all the benefits of the program within the life of the program. But you see, like NASA started as a program and it had to, it had such a large target of, exploring the frontiers of universe and everything. And they ultimately found out that this could not be covered in one program. And then they have converted the NASA into an organization and they have distributed various initiatives within that organization as various programs. Now, that program, the purpose of NASA was not achieved by the end of putting the man on the moon, but it continued on. Therefore, there is a possibility that there are certain programs which are never ending. We can't have never ending programs. So, what we do is that we end the program somewhere, transitioning the results to another program or an operation. So, this is the example of that. This is something big we are talking about. Normally, we compare it with a project, and that is very simple to compare that a project has yielded its benefit, output has been given, benefits have been consolidated, and the program is ultimately giving out the consolidated benefit. If the benefits delivered at the end of the program satisfies all purposes, then there is no problem at all. But in this case, this is a specific case in which it says the benefits could not be realized and cannot be realized during the life of the program, and therefore they will be sustained over time after the program has finished. Right. So this was a little complicated, but if you just read it more carefully, you will find that this is how. If you can project the benefit curve upwards, you will see that ultimately there will be a point when the benefits will be more than the cost. And especially
No?
if you look at it, look at the business case which was created. that will tell you what it was planned for. Right. Coming over to the risks. Risks must be defined and refined. As program benefits are further defined, risks to program benefits should be further refined and new benefit risks quantified. Now, this is very important because all the benefits you are focusing at, uh, there is always a caveat about it that this benefit may not be realized. And that is why you have to identify all those risks which could affect your benefits negatively or positively. Examples of risks to implementing benefits include stakeholder acceptance, transition complexity, the amount of change being absorption of by the organization, realization of unexpected outcomes and other situations. And this is why, because programs are more uncertain than projects. Projects were uncertain, I agree, but programs are even more uncertain because of their complexity and longer life. So positive risks in form of opportunities to optimize the delivery of benefits should also be identified, refined, and quantified, and opportunities then may include optimization of how critical resources are allocated, are consumed by the program components, are leveraging a new technology to reduce the effort or resource required to deliver a particular benefit. So, in other words, we must do make use of the opportunities in such a way as if we can be most efficient, not only effective but efficient. We want to put in the least resources and get the optimized results. So how can we optimize it? By making use of opportunities or countering the threats. Next important thing here is the program governance, on which we have got a complete domain which we'll be studying in the next chapter. Program governance function within the program will help the program team determine if benefits achievement is occurring within the stated parameters. So, changes to the component projects or programs as a whole may be proposed when necessary. Program governance is the overall governance function or feature how the program is to be managed. You see, as I was giving you a differentiation between a management plan and a plan, so for the whole program management plan, program governance is the guideline, is the big, huge guideline for running this program. And within the program, or you can say, remaining within the governance boundaries, program management plan is developed, and program management plan is composed of a number of other plans, and each management plan will have its own artifact or detailed plans. This analysis requires linking benefits to program objectives, financial expenditure, which is operational and capital, measurement criteria, which I've already discussed, which can include the KPIs, and the measurement and review points. When which measurement has to be taken, and what are the various review points? Review points, if you remember, I did mention somewhere about gateway process. Gateway process from the UK government point of Office of Government Commerce in UK have a gateway process in vogue, and that is specifically for the programs. The programs being run in UK, official programs, they all go through a gateway process. So whatever is the standardized life cycle of the program management, according to that, because you can't have different life cycle for every program, because programs are so huge that we just have to classify them into program definition and this and that, and therefore program governance will tell us how the review points we described. So what would be the review point? When we have completed one complete phase of a program, there has to be a gateway to pass from one phase to another, one program phase to another, and that would be defined as my review point. The benefit realization plan is also used during the benefit delivery phase. to verify that benefits are being realized as planned while providing feedback to program stakeholders and the program governance board to facilitate successful benefit delivery. Right. Um, let's talk about the benefit management plan. Benefit management plan is the documented explanation defining the processes for creating, maximizing, and sustaining the benefits provided by a project or program.
Okay. Can
Yes.
we say this accurately that benefits realization plan is a component of benefits management plan?
Yes, of course, of course. But benefit management plan is how to do it, and benefit realization plan is what to do. That is the difference
Yes.
between.
So realization will have much more detail and step-by-step orientation of what
Exactly,
was to be done, which is in the benefits management plan.
exactly. So it identifies how and when benefits are expected to be delivered to the organization and specifies mechanisms that should be in place to ensure that benefits are fully realized over time. Benefit management plan is the baseline document. Just like in project management, we had scope baseline, schedule baseline, and cost baseline. Here we have benefit management plan baseline document, and it guides the delivery of benefits during the program performance. So our variance is actually calculated from program point of view based on the benefit management plan. So the baseline document, okay, if I I can use the word of benefit realization plan. Basically, the detailed plan, the artifact which describes the ultimate result of the benefit management plan, which in other way is the benefit realization plan. Once that is finalized, that gives us a benefit baseline, right?
Mhm.
Normally, management plan does not give a baseline. Management plan gives the artifacts, and those artifacts, the final shape of that, the final version of that, could be taken as a baseline document against which we compare we measure and compare it with the planned and actual. So basically, that is the baseline document. Benefit management plan also identifies the associated activities, processes, and systems needed
needed to
the change driven by the realization
change
of
even.
benefits. Okay. So benefit management plan also identifies the associated activities, processes, and systems needed for the change driven by the realization of benefits, required changes to existing processes and systems, and how and when the transition to an operation state will occur. So this all must be clearly specified in the benefit management plan, how this change will occur and how it will be transitioned. So this is the outlay of our benefit management plan. The benefits realization plan should, now this I am quoting from fourth edition. Fourth edition does use the words benefit realization plan, but to a very limited scale, right? So benefit realization plan is there, should define each benefit. This is what is the detail. Each benefit and associated assumptions and determine how each benefit will be achieved. Now this we are talking about the details. When we were talking about the benefit management plan, we said it is giving us the processes, how to create, how to maximize, how to sustain, how to change, and so on and so forth. Now we are talking about the realization plan. It says define each benefit and associated assumptions and determine how each benefit will be achieved. Link component project outputs to the planned program outcomes. Define the metrics, KPIs, and procedures to measure the benefits. Define roles and responsibilities. Who is responsible for managing those benefits and define how the resulting benefits and capabilities will be transitioned. You see, this is the most detailed document about benefit. Benefit realization plan is the most detailed document, and this is a step-by-step guide of realizing those benefits. Define how the resulting benefits and capabilities will be transitioned into operational state and provide a process for managing. Now, do not confuse it with the transition itself, because transition is not happening here, but all of that has been planned here. Benefit realization plan describes when the benefits will be delivered, when they will be transitioned, when they will be sustained, and how. All the details are planned here in the benefit realization plan. It provides a process for managing the overall benefit management effort. So this is all about the benefit management. The complete layout of the benefit management in detail is in the benefit realization plan. Now, comparing the benefit management with the program roadmap. Program benefit management establishes the program architecture. So now benefit management has created a layout that maps how the components of the component projects will deliver the capabilities and outcomes that are intended to achieve the program benefits. So this gives you a framework. Program architecture defines the structure of program components by identifying the relationship among the components and the rules that govern their inclusion. Why should a component or a project why should it be made part of the program? As if it can deliver certain output or outcome which could yield certain benefit, and that benefit would be consolidated into our program benefit. So the components are given birth. Program components are given birth based on their need. So whatever is my program roadmap, keeping that in mind, I will create several projects and component programs within the life of the program, and they will be orchestrated in such a way that they match up to the program roadmap. Then what benefit has to be achieved? So that benefit must be achieved due to a certain project completed. That project will be placed at before that point. The program roadmap is the chronological representation that depicts key dependencies between major milestones. Although at the stage of program roadmap, we do not know exactly how many components will be there and what will be the names of that component, what those components would be doing. Roadmap stage, I only know what are the major benefits and generally when are they expected to deliver. So this is a chronological presentation. First this, then this milestone, then this milestone, and generally the time frame in which we expect those benefits to be realized. So if I can keep this roadmap in front of me, that will be much easier for me to ensure that the benefit management plan or benefit realization plan I create, that goes exactly according to those chronological order. Then communicate the linkage between the business strategy and the planned prioritized work, and reveal and explain gaps, if any, and ultimately provide a high-level view of key milestones and decision points. The program roadmap summarizes key endpoint objectives, challenges, and risks. It describes evolving aspects of the program, like the progressive elaboration, incremental benefit delivery, and provides a high-level snapshot of the supporting infrastructure and component plans. Ultimately, we have to update the benefit register. So after having done all this analysis, naturally, we have learned a lot about each benefit. The initial risk benefit identification may not have that much detail, which I can now have. You see, in benefit analysis and planning, I have gone into detailed planning of the benefits, measurements, KPIs, ownerships, roles and responsibilities. So now all those details can be filled into the benefit register, which was otherwise incomplete. I could not have had all this information available for the first time when I was creating the benefit register. Now that benefit register, in whatever form it was, can be updated by this new data. Benefit register initiated during the benefit identification is updated during benefit analysis and planning. At this time, program benefits are mapped to the program components based on the program roadmap. Benefit register is then reviewed with the appropriate stakeholders. Naturally, whenever we talk about benefit register, we involve the stakeholders to define and approve key performance indicators and other measures that will be used to monitor program performance. That is a program delivery. Purpose of benefit delivery is to ensure that program delivers the expected benefits as defined in the benefit realization plan. Activities that make up the benefit delivery include monitoring the organizational environment internally and externally, and the program objectives and the benefit realization to ensure that program remains aligned with the organizational strategic objectives. So it is just like looking at the right back view mirror, left back view mirror, and ensuring everything is in order so you are driving fine. So you have to look at the organizational environment, program objectives, and benefit realization and ensure that you are still aligned with the organizational strategy. This is one thing which will ensure the benefit delivery. Number two, initiating, performing, transitioning, and closing the component project and sub-programs and managing the interdependencies between them. That will also ensure that everything which is associated with this initiative is being done appropriately. We are moving with proper design. As the things properly initiated, performed, transition, close, each sub-program, each project, each sub-program, all components are being done according to the plan, and their interdependencies are being managed. Then evaluating the opportunities and threats affecting benefits. We have already identified the risks. Now we are ensuring that we are evaluating those opportunities and threats, including updating the benefit register for new opportunities and risk affecting benefits and updating realized or obsolete risk affecting benefits. So there may be certain risks which are no more valid. They should be thrown out of the list, and those which are new must be included. This is kind of the risk management we are doing within the program. And there will be a section on that in program activities, which is chapter number 8. Evaluating key performance indicators related to program financials, compliance, quality, safety, stakeholder satisfaction, etc., in order to monitor the delivery of benefits. Recorded program progress in the benefit register and reporting to key stakeholders as directed in the program management plan. Benefit delivery phase ensures that there is a defined set of reports or metrics which have already been defined, which have already been planned, and they should be reported to the PMO, Program Management Office, or the Program Steering Committee, or sponsors, or stakeholders, whomsoever is concerned. So the reporting should happen. By consistently monitoring and reporting on the benefit metrics, stakeholders can assess the overall health of the program and take appropriate action to ensure successful benefit delivery. So if you can keep stakeholders properly communicated, they would know everything what is happening in the program. Is the program going fine? What is the health of the program? Are the appropriate action being taken? Are the risks being taken care of? And this is benefit delivery is an iterative process. Benefit management is an iterative process. Benefit analysis and planning and benefit delivery in particular have a cyclic relationship. Benefit analysis and planning may be continuously revisited as conditions change, and corrective actions may need to be taken in response to information gained from monitoring the organizational environment. If there are any modifications or corrections that can be made, components may have been modified in order to maintain alignment to the expected program results with the organization's strategic objectives. Realignment of the strategy. Of course, if there is a realignment, we can correct everything according to that. Then if there are any corrective actions, they may also need to take as a result of evaluating program risk. The program risk which we are evaluating against every benefit, changing those program risks may tantamount to giving some corrective action which will be inducted into the plan. Components may require modification. Components means the projects within the program due to performance related to program financials, compliance, quality, etc. So those things can also impact and they can also result in modification. These corrective actions may require the program component to be added, changed, or terminated during the program benefit delivery phase. So this can amount to a program change request. Program change control mechanism is actually handling these modifications and corrections. Then is the benefit and the program components. Program benefits and program components. Each component should be initiated at the appropriate time in the program and integrated to incorporate its output to the program as a whole. The initiation and closure of these components are significant milestones in the program roadmap and schedule. So program roadmap gives you a kind of a general outline how the benefits will be delivered, when the benefits will be delivered, and schedule is the detailed plan of delivery. The milestones signal the achievement and delivery of incremental benefits. As the benefit management plan is modified to reflect changes in program pacing, the program roadmap must be updated. So you cannot remain on the old roadmap while the program is being changed. So that roadmap will also have to depict the changes. Benefits and program governance. For a benefit to have value, it needs to be realized to a sufficient degree and in a timely manner. So again, the same thing. What is the success criteria? As Suhail said, this is the success criteria. The actual benefit delivered by the program components or program itself should be regularly evaluated against the expected benefits as defined in the benefit management plan. A key aspect to consider is whether program components and even the program as a whole are still viable. Should the program benefit proposition change? That is about change management. If the overall life cycle cost exceeds the proposed benefit, or if the benefit are delivered too late, so whatever the case is, the program roadmap should be assessed. Opportunities to optimize the program pacing may also be identified. It is just like you are running a project and something goes wrong. You are being delayed or overcost, so you will make requisite corrections. Exactly, if your benefits are not being realized or you are having other problems, the roadmap should be reassessed. So how can you put it right? Naturally, you will take certain actions. You can take advantage of certain opportunities to optimize program pacing if possible, create some kind of synergies, move the pattern and the order in which various components are being done. Maybe you move them around and make it more efficient. Maybe you add a new component, a new project within the program to take care of that loss, that problem you have been entrapped in. The benefit management plan may have to be modified to reflect the changes in the program components and pacing. So whatever you have changed, that would come through a proper change request. When the benefit management plan is modified, the program roadmap, as I said earlier, should also be updated. Program governance performance domain, which will come the next, we'll discuss it later, integrates with the benefit management performance domain to help ensure that the program is continuously aligned with the organizational strategy and that intended value can still be achieved by the delivery of program benefits. Effective governance helps ensure that the promised outcomes are achieved and delivered for the organization to realize intended benefits. The resulting benefit review requires analysis of planned versus actual benefits. That is a comparison which will tell us how much correction is to be required across a wide range of factors, including the KPIs. In particular, the following aspects should be analyzed and assessed: strategic alignment, number one, and value delivery, number two. In strategic alignment, we focus on ensuring the linkage of enterprise and program plans, on defining, maintaining, and validating the program value proposition, and on aligning program management with enterprise operational management is there. For internally focused programs, the benefits realization process measure how the new benefits affect the flow of operation of the organization as the change is introduced, and how negative impacts and the potential disruptiveness of introducing the change may be minimized. So, if the benefit is to be transferred within the organization, then we will look at these things, and if it is to be handed over, then we are looking at the value proposition. As far as the value delivery is concerned, we focus on ensuring that program delivers the intended benefits. There may be a window of opportunity for the realization of particular planned benefits, and for that benefit to generate real value. So there might be a point in time or a time span during which, if the benefits are achieved, they will give us the maximum benefit. The realization in a specific window of opportunity. So try to exploit that window of opportunity. The program manager, program steering committee, and the key stakeholders may determine if the window of opportunity was met or compromised by actual events in the program or component. Investment may also have time value, where shifts in component schedule have additional financial impact. So if you, it is just like, there is a sale on in a shop, and if you buy something during that period, you will be benefited. Otherwise, you have to pay the full cost. So similarly, additional financial impact could be there if you cannot take advantage of window of opportunity as far as the investment is concerned. Let me see how many slides are left. Okay, we have about 20-25 slides left. So if you like, I can break here and we can. Yes, Suhail.
Yes, I think then we should take it next time. That gives us time to study it, read it, and then be ready for next time.
Exactly. So we are leaving at benefit transition. Any questions you have so far, Julian?
No, I was saying I agree with that. We can review, and hopefully the video got recorded.
Okay.
And then we can.
Okay, what I have done is that the next lecture I have updated and uploaded the PowerPoint slides after the benefit. The governance chapter also has been uploaded. If you like, you can read it also. And tomorrow we'll be starting from the benefit transition, and probably maybe tomorrow we can start the governance if we are finished in a timely manner. Otherwise, we can have a discussion, we can have an exam on benefit transition, and leave out the governance for day after. So whatever happens.
I think we should finish benefits and then maybe have like a quick just like that, there may be a
Yeah.
small test on it
Yes, of
and
course.
then move forward. Okay, thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much and see you tomorrow. Take care.
Thank you. Good day.